Dang it, Dustin, why do you have to be so negative in your videos all the time? Guys, I'm sorry, but I've got to bring the realism to everybody. Comic book investors / speculators are going to get absolutely smoked on these two books that we're going to talk about. And we're going to talk about the market as a whole because we have new CPI reports, collectibles price index from Go Collect that we're going to dive into. Stick around. Collectibles friends, if you're new here, you like what you hear, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below. We will be coming with 1 or 2 videos a week as it stands, but I will bring you all the real stuff that a lot of the comic book YouTubers do not want to share or talk about. So we are here. We're back again, my friends. We've got 2 books that we're going to talk about and draw a couple of comparisons. First, let's take a quick look at this new Go Collect CPI report that came out. And really, if we look over the last 12 months, we're seeing really across Silver Age, Bronze Age, Copper Age, etc., everything pretty much down 5 to 10%-ish, with the Golden Age and the Big Spenders Club barely up a couple of percent, and of course, once you factor in inflation, probably down. But don't want to be completely depressing, so we won't get into all the inflation talk. Anyway, the point is that comics as a whole, key comics we're talking about here, so we're not just talking about the average comic book you pick up off the shelf, but key comic books that everyone is speculating on, really the kind of those top 100 books. And of course, you've got books that come in and out of that top 100. But for the most part, we're talking about the usual suspects, stuff that always has quite a bit of demand, a lot of consistency in the comic book price world of things. The first book we're going to talk about, the one that drives me absolutely nuts, and that I love when people fight me on this book. I love when people come at me for Ultimate Fallout 4, which is basically what's going to happen to everybody's wallet at some point. The Ultimate Fallout, the first appearance of Miles Morales, and we have on the census about 16,500 or so blue labels. My friends, I know we've been talking about just the overall ungraded supply that's continuing to go and get graded. This book came out in 2011. 2011, this thing is barely a decade old. This is a new book. 12 years old, 13 years old. We're sitting here talking about the census on early 90s books and how high they are. This thing is 12 years old. It already has 16,500 blue labels. And I know this is kind of the perfect case of speculation gone wrong, as if another version of Spider-Man, of course, we've got Peter Parker, we've got Miles Morales, and Miles Morales is the future, right? Well, here's the problem is that no matter how hard we spec on the movies or the shows or the potential of a particular character, the problem that nobody seems to take into account or hasn't done over the last few years and maybe starting to now is just simple supply and demand. Demand, there's demand for this book, no doubt, absolutely, but nobody factors in graded supply and how fast it is increasing. Hell, how fast it's increasing on Bronze Copper Age, let alone a 10, 11, 12-year-old book like this. This thing is going to be a train wreck, in my opinion, for people that, I don't know if they've hoarded these. At as high as $3,800 is where this got as we got into the boom for a 9.8. Now, keep in mind, there are no, this is going to shock you. This one hurts my feelings. No 9.9s yet on the census or 10s. Do you not think that that's coming? Do you not think that there will be a 9.9 or 10 for this thing soon? I mean, it's just a matter of time, and somebody, it goes without, I mean, we know this. Somebody will pay an exorbitant amount because they will think that I've got the first 9.9, or I've got the first few, one of the first few or whatever. In the long run, with CGC grading, the way they've kind of shifted a little bit, and they're putting a little bit more, a little loosey-goosey, loosen it up a little bit. They can maybe say that that's not true, but the fact that right out of nowhere, we're getting giant-sized XMen 9.9. We're getting all these new 9.9s fresh over the last 6 months, 12 months. This book that's 12 years old will have 9.9s and maybe 10s. We'll see what happens, but this thing sitting here at, what is it, $1,000 to $1,250 now, This book is extremely, extremely vulnerable. Given the fact that no 9/9s have hit the census yet, and it's bound to happen, I can't wait to see it because it's coming. It is absolutely coming. And then, of course, what does that mean for the 9/8s? All of a sudden, the 9/8s are trash. Hell, you got 9/6s trash. Not really trash, but you understand my point here. I would not be surprised in the long run if this is a $300 book in a 9/8. And I know some people are going to flop on the ground and cry and scream. And some people actually they had like a plate of food that they were eating, and they just threw that plate across the room, broke the plate against the wall. That's how angry they are to hear about their beloved Ultimate Fallout 4, their first appearance of Miles Morales. Again, great book, cool character. I understand why people like it. I understand why it's considered a big key. But this is the book. I mean, this is the poster child book of overspec and people reaching on the importance of a character, the importance of the future of a character, this, that, or the other. I understand it's an extension of the most popular, you could say, comic book character in Spider-Man. You can say that. And he is Spider-Man, another version of Spider-Man, but we keep getting more versions. We keep getting Spider-Boy and Spider-Gwen and Spider-Girl and Spider-Grandma. We're going to get all the spiders. They're all coming out, the whole family. Spider-Aunt, Auntie Spider, and Uncle Spider-Man. It's all happening, and this is not going to be special in the long run. So I'm sorry. I know that's going to hurt a lot of feelings. Next, we're going to hit on the big pump book here over the last 6 to 12 months. Everybody's so excited about a new movie that's coming up, selling out. And I think what people are going to be shocked by is this movie is going to be successful. They've already pre-sold tons of tickets. No doubt in my mind that the box office, especially, God, compared to movies in the box office now are just getting absolutely smacked in the face. Movies in the box office are just not making money the same way that they did. I think people are just getting used to streaming everything. They're just like, God, I have to drive 12 minutes to the movie theater and I have to buy $12 popcorn. I'm just going to wait. I'm just going to stay home. Maybe they'll release it on HBO or whatever. People are just not rushing out to the movie theater. We just had Memorial Day weekend, and we had the lowest openers on Memorial Day weekend, I think, in like 15 or 20 years or something. People just are not going to the movie theater the same way they have done in years past. New Mutants 98, awesome cover. And let me also say this. This will always be a book with demand. Always. But the graded supply continues to rise. The air is slowly being released from the balloon. In a 9/8, this book sells for what? Fair market value is on Go Collect at like $1,200, $1,300, $1,400. Well, one of my buddies sent me, Elite Comics has got one up, claim sale at $975. The writing is on the wall for this book. This one has 25,000 blue labels, 4,400 9/8s, has 12 9/9s and 110, and that number will rise. And when that number rises, that's not good news for the 9/8s, or hell, the 9/6, the 9/4s, forget it. Your 9/2, that's basically a mint copy, trash. It's garbage. Not really, you know what I mean. But look, it's just not going to help all those other copies. That 9/9 census is going to move up on New Mutants. It's hard to say. No, it isn't. New Mutants 98. Again, heavy demand for the book. It's got 25,000 blue labels. Do you know another title, another popular high demand book that has 25,000 blue labels? Can you guess it? Spawn #1. Probably my all-time favorite character. I'm a Spawn homer. Todd McFarlane is the GOAT. Spawn 1, all-time classic cover, and I guess you could argue, newsstand is going to be more expensive. Newsstand copies probably more in the $500 to $700 range. But for this book, a non-newsstand copy is $130 to $150. $150. And maybe there's enough demand to keep this New Mutants 98 up over $1,000 forever. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if Spawn 1's at $150. Could it be a $250, a $300 book, a $400 book? I think it could all day long in the future. I think that New Mutants 98, eventually that census is going to be 40, 50,000 when it's all said and done. And there's a lot of books on here that, again, these are just examples, and these are newish type books, New Mutants 98 from the 80s. I know people look, I'm 43, I was born in 81. The 80s feels like a long time ago, but people back then, especially when that book is coming out mid-late 80s, they were taking care of these books. So there's a lot of nice copies, a lot of 9/6, 9/8s, 9/9s. coming out, and they will continue to hit the census. And when that happens, prices are going to move downward unless there's just an increase, more and more demand to meet that thing. And look, nobody can see the future. Maybe there is that demand that will continue to meet that increased supply. We've kind of seen that. Or what's probably more likely is that pressure pushes down on those prices, which frankly makes them more affordable for collectors. However, if you're a speculator, if you're somebody that's looking, hey, I'm going to buy this book for $1,000, and in 20 years, this New Mutants 98, it'll be worth $2,000. Maybe that's true. That could very well be true, but it's highly vulnerable with the fact that it's just not that old of a book. It's not old enough, and that graded supply continues to move upward. Friends, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I know some of you have already broken all the dishes in your house because you're so upset, and I apologize for that. I'm not trying to be triggering. I'm just trying to be honest about what I'm seeing out there. Stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.